Greetings from Jewell Starsinger. So, that's not what I meant. Today I'm going to talk about not what I meant. Now that I'm old, I look back on what happened when I was young and I think, that's not what I meant. Why? Well, I'll explain. Ladies, go home. Yes, go home. Stop it. Stop it. Stop trying to be men. All right, when I thought it was a good idea to represent the material world as the feminine aspect of God, as Rob Hand once said, and use the feminine pronoun to describe the natural world, I did not mean to change society for the worst. Sorry about this terrible misunderstanding. I hope to clear it up below so that we can go back to normal when perverts and wackos stayed in their dark nightclubs because their shameful behavior was not acceptable in polite society. Yang persists and pierces into yin. Yin contains and transforms yang. This is the way of things. Metaphysically speaking, containers are feminine. So I surmised that since the body is the container for the spirit, then even male bodies are feminine. Oops. I surmised that we could have a new perspective using she for men and women, both of us. After all, I said in writing and thought, we have used the masculine descriptor long enough. We will liberate the ourselves. We will liberate ourselves with this new old practice. Long live the goddess. Hooray, the future's female. Oops, that's not what I meant. Not so fast, dummy. Not you, me. I didn't relate to being part of mankind. And why is nisus humane, M-A-N-E? Nor did I care for the word for my sex, woman, W-O-M-A-N, or for the other feminine sex word, female, F-E-M-A-L-E, or human, H-U-M-A-N, man. I didn't have a man grudge, no. It was more about wanting my own moniker. Moniker is an old-fashioned word meaning description. I wanted my feminine sex words to be different from the male sex words. In German, the words for the two sexes are different, Frau and man. In Italian, it's l'uomo and donna. How different could that be? In Spanish, hombre and mujer. In French, la femme and home. In Swedish, kvinna and man. Russian is zenshchina and mushchina. Well, that has two endings the same. I don't know how wrong I am on that. I don't know for sure, but it seems that English is the only or the main language that describes the male sex, embedded in into most of the descriptions of the female sex, feminine sex. I longed for descriptors for me, a girl, a lady, so I respelled the bothersome words. Woman is womb, and I'm spelling it, woman, W-O-M-U-N, is the womb plus hand of God. And mun is from Old Germanic meaning hand, so that's how I got it. Women, W-I-M-M-I-N, is from Zap Comics from R. Crumb in the late 60s. I don't have a replacement for female, which in my head is as follows. Fe equals iron on the periodic table. Male equals man, so female. Therefore, female equals Iron Man. And I like that because women need more iron than men because we bleed. So I say lady instead anyway, or femme. I know this may sound petty, but it's my freaking issue, okay? All I can say about that is sometimes my issues turn out to be bigger than just me. Often, actually. We are different, you know. When males are throwing their bodies into each other for aggression or sport, ladies are doing their best to protect themselves from physical harm. I didn't just make this up. Just ask any insurance agent. When we were young mothers in the early 70s, we were raising boys without guns and with dolls. We found our little fair haired sons in the yard throwing rocks and stabbing each other with sticks long before they saw violence on TV. They were little guys doing this. I mean, little. Even when their only media input was the Muppets, the boys were still throwing, leaping, and running fast. So, what's this thing about worth and value, worth versus value? Well, world population is too big now. I can't say for sure, but it has tripled in my lifetime. And I feel the lack of elbow room. How often do you hear this? I went back to my hometown. Someone says, well, how was it there? The memories, the old haunts. Did you have fun? The standard answer is consistent. I didn't recognize the place. My pond is a mall. The school is a bank. The fields I played in are parking lots. The place smelled like exhaust, and there were people everywhere. The traffic was impossible. How often have you heard this? Too often. It seemed practical that we humans could figure out overpopulation without murder and mass castration and genetic modification, but what the hell? When people had more children, it was common for more children to die. Ergo, when people figured out how to make more children survive, should not intelligent apes slow down the additions to match the subtractions? Population math. I thought we could cut back a bit if we encouraged the caretaker types to have a few kids, and then the career types to have at it in the public sphere. And those action oriented types could act as the aunts and uncles of society and keep the wheels of commerce spinning. That way, we would grow new people with family goodness and still have a functional society. We could promote extended family values with neighbors, sharing in each other's lives like a village. Dreaming on. I'm dreaming on. Actual diversity would allow for people to follow their interests and talents. Actual diversity would praise the poet and the banker. Actual diversity would allow varied opinions. Actual diversity would not require my compliance to current trends. And I might add, what might I add? What does skin color have to do with anything? Why would you place a poet in a cockpit of an airplane? Obviously, because it's her turn. Everybody gets a turn. Don't you want to fly a plane? When I said equality, I didn't mean getting a factory job or digging ditches, or boxing men in the Olympics. No, I meant equal value for our different qualities. Someone needed to stay home to purify the place of its filth and make a meal, but the homemaker became a pariah in the 70s. I was never fit for public employment, not with this neurodivergent brain. You should have seen me trying to be a waitress. Oh my God. I mean, I couldn't remember anything. I couldn't remember to bring their ketchup and their salt. And I couldn't do it. I tried. Same old. Anyway, equality is not what you think. If I had been drafted into the army, I would have spent the entire time crying. So there's that. We are so in love with science these days. There's a ton of sex science studies. The left brain, right brain stuff, the boy babies who crawl out of the circle while the girl babies stay in the circle very close to the center of the circle. And then there's purity. Science recently told me that babies in utero receive all the hormones and chemicals from mom. Not just the food molecules and vitamins, no, they also get her feelings, emotions, and even her dreams. So why on earth do we send preggers out to work until they drop the baby and then make them rush back to the office when the infant still needs her? Why do we do that? That's what a man would do. A woman doesn't want to do that. Do you know how many young mothers I've seen in shitty jobs like filling out paperwork in an office or at a window somewhere, have their little baby picture by their desk, and oh, my baby is, and you should be with your fucking baby. There, as it just really pisses me off. Can you tell? Be with your baby. Your baby needs you. You're its mother. God. Ay, ay, ay. Family values is a lie in Modernia. We say it matters, but we lie. If we really cared about families, pregnant women would be eating organic meat and vegetables while being massaged by Adonis-like master massage dudes daily. Mothers would be breathing clean air and sleeping on organic cotton sheets. Children would have their mothers at home, learning the way of the household. Families would live together into adulthood, sharing their lives in the same location for generations. That would be a feminist world if we really honored the meaning of the word feminine, but we do not do that. Femininity is collectivity. Femininity is collectivity. Communism. Oh, that's such a shame they ruined that word with all their masculine, sadistic, ruly-pooly stuff, because a commune is a unity. It's a unity of those that have stuff in common. I hated that word has been ruined by um, gun-toting, stomping, aggressive, horrible people. I hate that. It's not okay. The thing is, commune is common. Com is together. We come together. We share our lives. We know each other. We know all of our ickies and all our goodies. We know each other. In a society where everybody moves around, we don't know each other. We live in a sea of strangers. This is not good for us. In astrology, we know that there are 12 archetypes, and there's only one traveler archetype, and that's Sagittarius, the number 9 energy. So that means 1 in 12 people has by design the urge and the ability and the talent to be a traveler. But if the traveler has nothing to come home to because everybody at the home is also gone, what do you have? The traveler has nothing to return to. The collective doesn't benefit from the traveler, and the traveler can't benefit from the collective. This is not okay. We need to allow our archetypal energies to be embodied in people. We need to stop insisting everybody act the same. And so it's ridiculous to say that these diversity things are really diverse. They're not. They're not diverse. They're about being the same. They're about busting up your family, about being a rugged individual, and going out into the world and beating other people at some contest. It's very yang. And guess what? We're mixed up in a world that is increasingly environmentally yin. The chemicals made from the oil products are yin. And all the modern chemicals, the poisons, the fertilizers, the beauty products, everything is made from oil. And oil is Neptune, is yin. So what do we have? We have frogs that literally do change sex, becoming female and having viable eggs. That's not going to happen to a person, by the way, so stop thinking that, Mr. Transvestite who's got a weird sex fetish. Stop it. My point is, if we don't look at how these things are actually working out in our reality, then who's to say we can fix it, live with it, or do whatever needs to be done? We have to speak these words clearly, and we need to understand the premise behind them, how we live our lives. Women are soft and receptive to the man. Woman needs her hole filled up by a man. That's what we like, and that is what we need. He has the insertion product that fills my hole. I like that. It feels nice. Why is it that way? It's that way because the gods are that way, and we're made in the God's image. We are yin and yang people. But since we're made from both gods, yin God and yang God, we all have a little bit of both in us, don't we? And we do. Our physical attributes and our feelings are very much from the mother, the goddess. And our ability to think and talk and make actions happen, that's very yang. That's the doer part. That's God. That's our God part. But men in dresses, maybe they're, I don't know why. There's probably a million reasons. But if we have more of that, it's because our environment is impressing that yinness onto too many people that shouldn't have it put on them. It's not a healthy environment for men. All this oil stuff, it's terrible for your boy children. It's terrible for your lover. It's terrible. It's not okay. So, for no other reason than that, we need to have ecological awareness. Not because of stupid climate change. That's just another dumb thing that some rich companies want to do to make money from government subsidies. That's it. That's all that is. Let's not do that. Let us understand our environment better. Let us understand who we are and who we want to be, because I'm a very girly girl, but I have a really active mind. I have, that's yang. That's the yang part of me. And you can be a man with a very active mind who really likes to have touch and tenderness. That's feminine, right? So we have to learn how to use these things in the context of our society and in the context of our own personality and our needs, you see. So when I tried to turn all the pronouns to she and call men she, I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to make this crazy thing happen, this crazy world, and all this anger and stuff. It's like, all these mad men in dresses. I'm sorry, but that is very masculine behavior. Aggression is yang. It just is. If you're aggressive and you're making yourself known, that's yang. You're a man. Ladies, when ladies are angry, we overeat, we punish ourselves inwardly, or we get out the poison, and you never know what happened. So I'm just saying, feminine aggression is different than male aggression. So I'm just saying, these men in dresses that are angry and throwing things, those are just men. They're men being men. All right. Well, there it is. And thank you for listening. I hope that I helped give you some interesting information. And let me tell you, I do astrology consultations for people. I don't like to call them readings anymore because I really think it's about consulting. I'm not going to tell you who you are. I'm going to ask you what your issues are. And through the archetypes and the imagery and the story that we can learn from what has happened, then we can extrapolate what may be to come and how you can deal with it. We used to call it the astrological weather. That works for me. It's really about discovering where you can be happy, where you can be the most productive for your own goodness. And when you do that, is how you can then be the most useful in society. At my age, I think an elder's job is to be useful. I'm pretty much finished with a lot of the other stuff of the maiden and the matron. So being elder means taking the responsibility to let people know what I've gone through and my fellow elders have gone through, because we made some decisions that affect you, the younger people, you see, and you need to know that. I think it's helpful if you know that, well, I thought this would be a good idea 50 years ago to call men she. And now I see maybe it's not such a great idea. So let's rethink that. Anyway, in terms of your personal life, I will consult with you. And if you'd like, just help you get a handle on some of your questions that you may have had for a while and would like to have a new perspective, possible answers, and that sort of thing. So you can check in at jewellstarsinger.com and book a consultation. Also, I've recently lowered my price. I priced myself around $120 for my whole life because I've never been really active in promoting myself, because I personally think it's some kind of ego trip and I can't do it. And so I never have, but I really know my stuff because I'm a deep thinker. But anyway, point being, the money thing's always a problem because I don't know how to do that. So I thought, well, I'm as good as these people I see online. I'll be professional and charge $250, and some of them charge $500. It's like, oh, that's famous, but I'm not famous. But you know what? I just got to thinking, no, I that's not what I do. I don't do that. I'm like I always call myself shotgun, because I like to be beside. I've got the moon in Libra. I like companionship, and I like to be the cheerleader. I like to cheer somebody on. And I'm really good at seeing your patterns. That's what I'm good at. I can see patterns from the eagle's eye view, and that can be really helpful to you. So if you need that kind of help and you find it interesting, I've lowered my price to the price of a massage. So it's $85. And if you come back for a couple times, it's 80. So there you go. Very doable. Price of a massage. We can consult and move on. So thank you for listening.